Men of Reddit, who's the most beautiful woman you've seen in your life? I don't think I'm alone in saying it's a woman I walked past once and never saw again. There's so much more to attraction than the physical, but this person has stuck in my mind. The one time I couldn't help but stop anything I was doing and just admire as she walked into and out of my life. It was like seeing the work of an artist pass by me. Utterly entrancing. Elegance in physical form. I was at a pharmacy about 15 years ago when I found a bottle of coconut-scented shampoo. Being bald for more than a decade, I had a small bout of nostalgia since this was my favorite scent back then. So decided to take a sniff for old time's sake. I opened the cap and took a sniff. Nothing. Aha! I told myself. Of course there's no smell as there's no air moving. So I'll just squeeze a little and sniff again. I squeezed too hard and a big jet of white shampoo went way up my nose and down my face. So while my eyes are watering and I look like a porn star at the end of her shift, I look up and see the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. In the classy lady type. Looking back at me with the most WTF expression on her face I've ever seen. And she was still the hottest woman I ever saw in my life. Edit. Words. Morena Baccarin. So, the best looking woman I've seen in my life is from my hometown and is called Bridget. May years ago, when I would be walking to school every day, I'd meet Bridget and we'd say hi and have a little chat. She had this great long black hair, sparkling green eyes and a smile that would melt the heart of Satan himself. Every day when I saw that smile my heart would jump from out of my chest and I'd turn from a fairly confident young man into a jabbering idiot. Anyway, cut to 30 years later and Bridget has moved back to town. Still looks the same. Still has that world-beating smile. I meet her now every time I walk over to visit my ma'am. We still say hi and my heart still jumps out of my chest. And I still turn into an idiot when I see that smile. She's, without a doubt, still the best-looking woman I've ever seen. My sisters and friends reckon as we're both single this may be my time to make a move, but honestly, I think my heart might stop if I had to look at that smile every day. The beautiful woman I see in the mirror every time. A few years back, I was on a train that was hopelessly overbooked. So I was just camping on the floor in an entryway. In comes the most beautiful woman to ever grace public transport. You know the feeling when you've rocked your chair just a little too much so it's tipping over. When you're dizzy, helpless and the events of the next few heartbeats are between you and God. Yeah, that. But for as long as I looked at her, I could feel how something in my brain went, we don't need all those passwords and that first language BS. Make room for some 8K live footage. I think there's a 50% chance I'll have her flashing before my eyes instead of important life events. When the Reaper comes for me, I hope she's doing well. Just going to throw out that anyone saying a celebrity may be in for a surprise should they ever meet that celebrity in a casual setting without the professional hair, makeup, and lighting. That said, Catherine Zeta-Jones is classic beauty defined. There is a J.D. Salinger short story where the main character is describing the most beautiful women he has ever seen. He says that one was a thin girl in a black bathing suit who was having a lot of trouble putting up an orange umbrella at Jones Beach. Circa 1936. I've always loved that line. It's so real. Sometimes a momentary glimpse at a stranger can stick with you forever. I'm embarrassingly attracted to Victoria Coren Mitchell. My wife honestly We have been together for 13 years and the woman has never wore makeup and is still gorgeous. That's real beauty to me. The one handing me a beer at 1 a.m. Honestly, to me it's my last girlfriend. I tend to find women more beautiful as I build a relationship with them. And my ex was beautiful anyway, so by the end of the relationship. Wow. Though the first time she came over she fell asleep on the sofa after spending the day together and I couldn't help but just admire how beautiful she looked. Still have the photo I took. Yes, I checked it was okay to keep the photo after she woke up. Woman I used to work with. On top of being legitimately physically gorgeous, she had just the best sense of humor and loved all the same nerdy shit I do. Didn't matter how shitty the day was. If I heard my office door open and her say, "Hey sunshine," it was suddenly a great day. At least for a little while. Monica Bellucci. 1988 to 1993. Jennifer Connelly. Easily the most beautiful human being I've ever seen. My wife. Selecting from the women who would be known to the people of Reddit. My answer would be Rachel Ward as she looked in the 1980s, Thornbirds. Romancing the Stone. My high school crush. She's now my wife, for what it's worth. On the off chance my wife is reading this, my wife